Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley.
I'm Gus.
Like, YouTube's been on a real controversy roller coaster. Well, for a while, but again in recent weeks, thanks to Logan Paul's ill-advised Suicide Forest video. We've all heard tons about that, and now YouTube has responded in a way that's sure to hit those irresponsible, gigantic creators right where it hurts.
You mean they finally addressed the issue?
Sort of, yeah.
And they're doing this by demonetizing any creator who has less than 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 hours of watch time over the last year.
Take that, little YouTubers. Okay, so look, this seems a bit backwards, right? Maybe? There are a whole lot of opinions going around about this, so we're gonna dig into it a little bit more of what YouTube's doing and why they might be doing it, and unfortunately, who's gonna be affected by it, which is a lot of people.
Because, as it turns out, YouTube for some reason announced some additional changes than the ones everybody's talking about in a separate blog post. So as always, it's just another day in Clusterfuck Town. Population us, right? Everybody's confused about what's actually going on.
Let's start with what creators are most upset about, that you're going to be hearing a lot about. YouTube's latest helpful demonetization spree comes by way of a new post on the YouTube creator blog outlining what they call additional changes to the YouTube Partner Program to better protect creators.
And the thing they seem to be protecting them from most is making money.
Oh, it's so helpful.
At least for the smaller YouTube channels, based on some of the new guidelines. The company
That's most channels.
That's true. The company wrote on their blog, starting today, we're changing the eligibility requirements for monetization to 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. We've arrived at these new thresholds after thorough analysis and conversations with creators like you.
Like,
the emphasis was mine, by the way.
What's the benchmark you can't hit? Okay, cool. They went on to say that these adjustments will allow us to significantly improve our ability to identify creators who contribute positively to the community and help drive more ad revenue to them and away from bad actors. These higher standards will also help us prevent potentially inappropriate videos from monetizing, which can hurt revenue for everyone.
If they're driving revenue away from bad actors, should I not be on screen right now? Do you want me to, leave? These new changes will go into effect starting on February 20th with a 30-day grace period. From that moment onward, no channels with fewer than 1,000 subscribers or less than 4,000 hours of watch time over the past year will keep the ability to monetize their content.
According to YouTube, the reason for these new measures is simple. They say it's to prevent bad actors like Gus from harming the inspiring and original creators around the world who make their living on YouTube. A big part of that effort will be strengthening our requirements for monetization so spammers, impersonators, and other bad actors can't hurt our ecosystem or take advantage of you.
They like that phrase, bad actors.
Well, and they're trying to come up with a catch-all phrase for extremist videos and impersonators and reposts, probably, content thieves.
Maybe if they had accounts, we could call them accounts.
Nah,
anyway,
actors, yeah.
A translation here, we've had to show our advertisers we're doing something. Naturally, this has been met with loads of criticism from the YouTube community, and for some pretty obvious reasons.
Well, for one, the types of content, the types of channels it affects. As with many of YouTube's recent responses to controversies, this one seems designed only to punish the smaller creators. With these types of stringent requirements for monetization, it's going to be that much harder for lesser known channels to make any money for an even longer period of time and also get into that all-powerful algorithm.
And furthermore, even if you do have enough subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time is going to be a big hurdle to leap for certain types of content, like animation, for instance, which is much harder to produce and tends to be shorter.
I mean, YouTube already butchered the animation scene once when they switched to prioritizing watch time over views for monetization. This is like kicking it real hard when it's laying on the ground gasping for breath.
Take that, animation. If someone can only crank out a handful of minutes of animation or other content per month, it's going to make achieving 240,000 minutes of watch time in a year pretty difficult. That comes out to 20,000 minutes a month, which is definitely going to pose a problem for some.
So, breaking that down, if you were to put out a single 10-minute video, you'd have to have 24,000 people watch 100% of it to qualify. If you have a 2-minute video, maybe something that's shorter like that, good luck getting those 120,000 views of 100% retention to get over the hump. Basically, it's asking a lot of smaller creators.
The response to this move has been all over the map from the YouTube community, and with good reason. There have been a number of smaller creators saying they might have to leave the platform altogether. Others are asking for their subscribers to watch their content in the background on repeat while they do other things in order to increase watch time. Ouch. And some have even been forming groups to sub to each other to get themselves across the starting line. Sub for sub? Sub for sub? Remember that?
Yeah. But of course, big YouTubers have their thoughts too, and for some of them, those thoughts are basically for people to just suck it up. PewDiePie wrote, "Just to be clear, I didn't earn anything off YouTube, not a single dollar, until I hit 25,000 subs. If all you're earning is $1, then YouTube probably is losing more money just to pay that to you. As much as I typically hate their business practice, this one makes sense to me."
And according to YouTube, 99% of those affected by this change make less than $100 per year from YouTube anyway, and 90% earned less than $2.50 in the last month.
To some degree, I can see Pew's point. The YouTube could very well be spending more than they're making just to execute these smaller payments, and from a business perspective, it makes sense for YouTube to try not to lose money if they can help it.
But there's the other consideration too, future stars of the platform. None of these channels have been counting on that $2.50 to pay their rent.
Unless you got like a real good deal on rent.
It's a great deal, you gotta know someone. When you're a new creator starting out with a dream, a webcam, and some free editing software, that $2.50 isn't just $2.50. It's that little carrot that says, this is just a start, you can do this, you can make it.
You can be somebody, you could be a contender. Without that, do you think anyone will get that?
No, probably not.
Okay. Without that, YouTube could very well lose aspiring creators who don't see the point of throwing their work away without any hope of reward unless they magically go viral because the bar is set so high. They'll just find somewhere else to try to make it, like Twitch or Instagram, or they'll give up and go into accounting or whatever other stable, reliable work they can get.
However, the biggest reason this move by YouTube is being criticized is because it doesn't even really seem to address the recent problem that people are most talking about.
Yeah, the bulk of the conversation happening in the community right now is basically asking the question, how does limiting small YouTubers from making money stop the problem of folks like Logan Paul from doing what he did?
The short answer is, of course, that it totally doesn't.
Nope.
And that's why there's so much confusion happening right now. The thing is, this update actually seems aimed at the problems brought to light by last year's adpocalypse, not this latest misstep.
If you'll recall, all that started because of some violent, extremist, and terrorist content uploaded by small channels, and then when advertisers discovered that was the case, them pulling out of the platform. It had a ripple effect felt all across YouTube and caused a lot of creators to see big hits to their income.
PewDiePie took the brunt of the attention after the media picked up on his Fiverr stunt, but it really did start before that when the UK government demanding to know why their tourism videos were appearing on Islamic extremist videos.
Nice moves, YouTube.
Yeah, that's not a good fit.
At the time, one of the measures YouTube took was to limit monetization to channels with less than 10,000 lifetime views. That one was mentioned in this latest blog post, which means this is probably a continuation of that discussion, not the Logan Paul discussion.
Of course, YouTube probably could have done a better job of saying that. Instead, all they did was say that yes, big channels can cause problems too, and they'll be talking to more creators to figure that out. And yeah, I mean, that helps clear things up.
Well, what makes all this even more confusing, though, is that YouTube did talk about the Logan Paul issue and address what they're doing with bigger creators, but in a totally different blog post published by the Google team. In that post, A New Approach to Monetization, they talked about larger YouTube channels, specifically the big moneymakers in Google's Preferred program, and how they're all going to be subject to manual review from now on.
They wrote, moving forward, the channels included in Google Preferred will be manually reviewed and ads will only run on videos that have been verified to meet our ad-friendly guidelines. We expect to complete manual reviews of Google Preferred channels and videos by mid-February in the United States and by the end of March in all other markets where Google Preferred is offered.
They're also going to be adding a tiered system for advertisers to opt into when it comes to the types of channels they want to appear on, with them understanding the risks and trade-offs they're taking with certain channels or more limited reach with others.
And that tiered idea is actually one that's popped up as a suggestion from a lot of YouTube users as a solution to total demonetization. Create different pools so mature advertisers can advertise on mature content, and so on. Though, unless that's all manual, we could end up with more algorithms gone wild before it settles down.
Almost certainly so. Get ready to submit all those manual reviews. Folks, hope the people at YouTube's review team are ready for some overtime.
Time to watch some YouTube videos.
Woohoo!
So that about covers all the big changes, not just the ones YouTube included in their update to creators.
So basically, what we've got, two separate problems that YouTube is tackling at the same time with some not great communication about how these two affect each other or the greater community in general. And since everyone's got Logan Paul on the mind, and well, can you blame them? The optics of this aren't all that great.
Which is all par for the course for YouTube. And to be clear, we're not defending YouTube's action here. We're just trying to make sense of it along with everyone else. On the surface, it sounds like we've got two changes being implemented. One that puts bigger channels under the microscope to curtail huge creators from derailing the entire system for everyone. And one that limits the ability of small serial offenders from damaging the platform as well by bringing a hammer to a scalpel fight.
Although, in YouTube's defense, just a little bit, they kind of had to try and do something to keep the entire ecosystem from collapsing. I do understand that, because both of these issues can be and have been problems for advertisers. And if the advertisers go, there's no more money for anybody, no matter how many views or hours of watch time you get. And we all saw glimpses of that with the adpocalypse. So I do understand they needed to do something.
It's true. But you could say the exact same thing about an absence of up-and-coming creators, and that's who's being hurt the most. Sometimes just being able to start earning a little bit of money is enough for some people to get some validation and to have some proof that what they're doing is sending them in the right direction. Cutting those legs out from the very beginning is going to be more than a little disheartening.
Yeah, so what do you guys think of YouTube's latest changes to monetization? Will this circus ever end? Let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on YouTube, remember to like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the know.
As with many of YouTube's recent responses to controversies, this seems designed to publish the smaller creators. What?
Publish?
Publish them, yes. Yeah.
If someone can only crank out a handful of minutes or animation or other content per month, it's going to be animation or other. Let me start.